The fans' interrogations got louder and louder as passers-by started to take photos and discuss what was going on. They felt Tanging was shameless. To them, Mo Yuru's character was much more trustworthy. Tanging was completely surrounded, leaving her with no room to escape. So instead, she calmed herself down and removed her sunglasses, revealing her bare face to the public. If you want me to answer your questions, I can do that. But first, can I ask you a few questions? Go ahead. The anti-fans looked at Tanging, wondering what trick she had up her sleeves. You say you are my fans, so can you tell me, what year did I debut? What year did I receive awards, and what awards were they? After hearing her questions, the anti-fans looked blankly at each other. How could they know this information about Tanging? They despised her. We are new fans. Regardless, you threw our gifts on the floor, so you are in the wrong. One of them responded, whether or not I threw the flowers on the floor. Even if I was to not explain, I'm sure the airport's cameras would have captured everything. But I already apologized immediately after dropping them. I'm sure everyone heard. I've also previously acknowledged, within the industry, there is still much to learn from your OU.so. What else are you not happy with? Tanging spoke gently, not forceful at all, but straight to the point. This girl that was causing trouble definitely wasn't her fan. It was obvious she was the fan of Mo Yuru, whose name hung to her lips. The fact that Tanging had already apologized and responded with a modest attitude, the majority of passers-by were starting to change their minds. They felt that Mo Yuru's fans were petty and had gone too far. Fine, it's true. I am also a fan of Yuru's. We just feel you don't deserve to be compared to her. On top of everything, you even stole her contract. You should return it to her. After speaking, the anti-fans started to push Tanging. Tanging staggered and almost fell. Luckily, the bodyguards Mo Tang sent arrived just in time, squeezing through the crowd to hold onto her. They also started to separate the crowd from Tanging. Longji couldn't hold in her anger anymore. She stood between the anti-fans and Tanging as she turned her head slightly. You go ahead first and wait for me. I'll be right there. Okay. As usual, Tanging didn't argue. She just simply put her sunglasses back on. HMMPH. If you don't give us an explanation today and don't return the contract back to Yuru, don't even think about boarding the plane. The anti-fans warned as they linked their hands, forming a human barrier. Do you really believe in Mo Yuru's character that much? Longji asked with a deeper meaning. It's definitely better than that of your cheap models. These words, I've recorded it. Longji raised her phone. When the time is right, I'll send you all a huge gift. Longji placed the phone to her head and called the police. The police immediately arrived to escort Tanging away from the crowd. With the help of Mo Tang's bodyguards, Tanging quickly disappeared from the view of the public. But before the police left, she whispered something to them. Tanging, Mo Yuru has made the news about you stealing her contract the #1 discussion. Longji looked at her phone as she spoke. Then, what are you waiting for? Release the video. Tanging replied while walking. I've been waiting for this moment. Now those fans can see whether their goddess is an innocent lady or a slut. After speaking, Longji phoned a reporter friend. Post up the video we prepared earlier. Han Yufan, let's see how many times you can save Mo Yuru. Tianyi Entertainment's Artists Resting Lounge. Mo Yuru was celebrating that the discussion she started had hit #1. On top of that, she received photos from her fans of the scene at the airport. Tanging had been pushed to the point where she couldn't even fight back. It completely satisfied her hatred. She wanted Tanging to have a taste of what it's like to steal her contract. This was only one of the consequences. The worst was yet to come. Yuru, after this heated incident, I'm sure you'll get even better deals than the one offered by HF. Her assistant flattered as he massaged her shoulder. Of course, I have to secure a place at the top 10 model awards. Mo Yuru smiled confidently. Her confidence was due to the fact that Han Yufan had reassured her earlier on. As promised, Han Yufan appeared at the doorway all of a sudden holding a contract to discuss with her. Quick, my top 10 model. A big advertisement is here. Let's hold a meeting immediately. Mo Yuru nodded her head. She was exceptionally pleased as she headed into the meeting room to discuss the details. Although Yuru lost the contract with HF, she has managed to secure a deal with an international makeup brand. She is indeed Tianyi Entertainment's precious gem. Han Yufan showered Mo Yuru with praises. As for Tanging, from now on, if anyone asks for her, respond by telling them she is getting married and won't be taking any more jobs. After hearing these words, Mo Yuru's smile grew even larger. However, just as the two were conversing with their eyes, Han Yufan suddenly received a phone call. At first, he had a smile plastered across his face, but afterwards, the smile disappeared. Mr. Blair, how could you cancel the contract all of a sudden? The indecent video of you and Mo Yuru has already gone viral. I am extremely ashamed of the two of you. What rubbish! With that, he hung up the phone angrily. What happened? Mo Yuru asked. The advertiser has requested for a solution to something. While he was speaking, Han Yufan pulled out his phone. At the top of search rankings was a video of him and Mo Yuru in the hospital bed getting intimate. This time, it wasn't just a photo. It was a video. It was a video that they couldn't deny. Seeing his reaction, Mo Yuru immediately stormed over and grabbed the phone from his hand. Upon seeing the video, she was so stunned, she dropped the phone onto the floor. How could this happen? How? Everyone in the meeting room immediately picked up their phones to see what was going on, while Mo Yuru, like being caught on the spot cheating, started yelling at everyone. Don't look. Don't search. It's over. Everything's over. Han Yufan angrily plopped down into his chair. Who is it exactly that is trying to go against me? Apart from Tianyi Entertainment's internal departments, Mo Yuru's official page was also in an uproar. It was only today that they put all their trust in Mo Yuru and stormed over to insult Tanging. But now they felt like they had been slapped across the face. At this time, Longji and Tanging had already boarded their flight. Longji was logged into Mo Yuru's fan club, watching as the anti-fans self-destructed. I never thought Mo Yuru would be so cheap. Well, we unknowingly idolized her. We must have been blind. From now on, I've lost all respect for her. Me too, me too. We should take the initiative and prove Tanging's innocence. At the airport, we had deliberately insulted her. She must have known. However, she never tried to get back at us. Instead, while the police were stopping us, she even told them not to hurt us. I heard it all, but I didn't announce it. One of the fans said guiltily. Also, Tanging's schedule was given to us by Mo Yuru's assistant. We need to post about this. After seeing the discussions, Longji's mouth was curving from ear to ear, so satisfying. That slut and jerk must be running around in a panic right now. Tanging, why are you so smart? I really love you. Longji wrapped Tanging in a hug as she planted a kiss on her cheek. But I don't love you, Tanging replied, looking down at Longji teasingly. Then who do you love? President Mo? Tanging was indeed thinking of Mo Ting and was especially missing his kisses. Habit definitely was a scary thing, especially poisonous habits. In an instant, Han Yufan and Mo Yuru's news became the talk of the town. Their previous efforts with PR had been completely overturned. Since Han Yufan and Tanging were an engaged couple, the video revealed Mo Yuru was a third party that had stepped in between the two. So she quickly became a hated homewrecker that everyone cursed under their breaths. At this time, a member of the media stepped out to reveal that the Crown Star substitute incident was all Han Yufan and Mo Yuru's ideas, and Tanging was forced to innocently take on all the blame. The netizens were in an uproar. Later that day, even bigger news was released regarding the incident at the airport. Tanging was previously criticized for disrespecting her fans, resulting in disgust from passersby. But after Mo Yuru's indecent video was released, Mo Yuru's official fan page posted up a statement clearing the entire incident of Tanging's fault. It was revealed that the fans had planned the entire incident beforehand, and they even pointed out it was all because they wanted to stick up for Mo Yuru. Luckily, they had now realized the idol they were protecting was not worth it. On top of everything, evidence was posted up of Mo Yuru's assistant privately providing details of Tanging's schedule to the fan club. Records of the discussions that took place in planning for what happened at the airport was also posted. In the end, a clarification letter on behalf of Tanging was released clearly explaining that Tanging hadn't thrown the flowers on the floor. They also praised Tanging for being polite and sincerely apologizing, even though she knew she was being slandered. Most importantly, when she was being protected by the police, she caringly asked the police not to be so rough, in case they hurt someone. This was released by Mo Yuru's official fan club, which meant Mo Yuru's fan club had now become a defeated army. Even her biggest fans had now turned their backs on her. How was anyone to trust Mo Yuru ever again? The media continued to be negative. Fans stepped all over her. Even companies that had previously used Mo Yuru as a spokesperson immediately took down their ads and sent out letters from their lawyers. Seeing all this, Mo Yuru knew she was over. She was completely over. Yuru, you need to remain calm. You still have the child in your stomach. With this child, you don't have to be afraid that President Han won't obediently listen to you. Even if in the end, you can no longer be a famous model, at least you can still be the wife of Tianyi's CEO. Mo Yuru's assistant tried to calm her down after seeing her throw everything on the floor. Don't damage your body. There's still a long road ahead. Hearing this, Mo Yuru agreed with her assistant's reasoning. Even if Tanging was to make a comeback, so what? With the child in her stomach, she still had a chance to win as soon as she stepped off the plane. Tanging received a phone call from Mo Ting. Longji also immediately searched up the progress of the ongoing battle. Their odds were looking good. It didn't seem like the tramp had any chance of a comeback. Should I congratulate my wife on a victorious battle? Mo Ting was sitting on his office chair as the contours of his face were highlighted by the rays of sunlight coming in through his office window. He looked handsome as usual. Tanging laughed gently and responded with a cheeky voice. Must you congratulate me every time I make a move? Can't you tell? I'm just looking for an excuse to give you a call. Tanging's heart fluttered. Too bad I can't come home tonight. She responded in a quiet whisper. If you tell me you miss me, there might be a miracle, Mo Ting teased. Do you want to try? Even if there was no miracle, I would still miss you. Tanging replied seriously. But because she was embarrassed, she hung up the phone before Mo Ting could give a response. On the other side of the phone, Mo Ting gave a muffled laugh as he immediately called Lu Qing on the intercom. Help me organize flights to Liaison as soon as possible. While you're at it, pack all the documents I need to sign so I can take them onto the plane with me. Tanging had no idea there would be a surprise. After disembarking the plane, she went straight to the location of her shooting. As her contract included printed ads, even though it was already night, she still entered the studio. Alongside her, there were a few foreign models that would be in the ad as well. Every one of them were extremely professional. Upon seeing Tanging standing around with no expression, the photographer was suddenly worried whether she would be able to meet expectations. The printed ad required the model to be snapped in the spur of the moment and had a high degree of difficulty. Within a second, the model had to express emotions that suited the product. This was a real test of a model's acting abilities. Unfortunately, Tanging's body was hidden by the long dress she was wearing, so no one could see her positive features. It was not until she changed and stepped out that everyone could finally see her perfectly proportioned body. Everyone in the studio was stunned. Whether it was her height or her measurements, everything met international standards. With her casual black patterned aligned dress, paired with a sleeveless dark denim jacket, she was completely exuding sexiness. But her expression, the photographer was still worried, so immediately walked over to Tanging to explain. The photos we are taking today will have a slightly wild style. Like a wild cat out for a stroll at night. I understand. Tanging nodded calmly. The photographer didn't explain any further. Asian models have always been of this quality. There is no point expecting too much. Come. Everyone get in position. Let's start with some solo photos, Jason. The models that were called each walked up to stand in front of the screen. Quickly and professionally, they all completed their shots. Tanging was last. Because she was last, she was under extra pressure. After all, in terms of appearance, she couldn't compare to the foreigners. If her acting wasn't up to speed, the whole shot could easily be foiled. Tanging. Upon hearing the photographer's call, Tanging walked in front of the screen wearing HF's bracelet from their charming night collection. The photographer continuously explained how she should pose to achieve a wild look. But Tanging just smiled as she nodded understandingly. One thing the photographer hated the most was people that pretended they understood when they didn't. So he spoke a few words before grabbing his camera and taking a few steps back. Let's just try a few test shots to see how it turns out. No, it's okay. Let's just do it, Tanging requested, seeing her confidence. The photographer anticipated seeing a joke dot in aggravation. He warned, "You asked for it. Once I start, there won't be a second chance." Okay, Tanging answered in her usual calmness. The other models all felt Tanging was digging her own grave. She was obviously given a chance, yet she didn't want it. What is she thinking? Then, let's get started. The photographer waved as he looked at Tanging without much expectation. Tanging nodded. Then, while everyone was gathered around waiting to watch her embarrass herself, in a split second, she entered into a different state of mind, surprising all onlookers. They watched as she naturally spread her legs apart, wrapped her left hand around her right hand's wrist, and gently spread apart her lips as she bit the middle finger of her left hand. In an instant, everyone was stunned by the look in her eyes. It was so threatening. Compared to the weak persona she had earlier on, it was like she had turned into a completely different person. What impressed everyone the most was the bracelet on her wrist, which appeared to be supplying her with this wild energy. She and the product went perfectly together, like they had completely fused into one. The photographer was speechless. Where did HF find this gem? This level of professionalism is comparable to that of an international supermodel. Above all, how is she so confident to refuse test shots? Especially since she has to practically change poses every 3 seconds? No matter if Tanging had to act lazy, seductive, threatening, or cute. As long as the photographer asked her to change poses, she immediately suited whatever theme was thrown at her. Her reactions were so quick that everyone watching was amazed. Longji was standing to one side. Upon seeing Tanging return to the Tanging she once knew, she was so emotional she almost cried out loud. Apart from tearing up, she also pulled out her phone to take photos of Tanging's various poses. She intended on forwarding them to Moting. Because of Tanging's relations to Moting, Longji felt extremely fortunate to have someone so mighty in her phone contacts. Of course, at this time, Moting was still on the plane in the 4-hour photo shooting session. Tanging managed to convince the photographer and a few others in the industry. With her professionalism, even Mr. Eugene, who had previously told Tanging to leave, couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. He even personally explained to Tanging that he couldn't control his emotions last time because he was so angry about being lied to. After removing her makeup, Tanging returned to her expressionless self. Meanwhile, everyone was extremely happy with her, making Mr. Eugene's impression of her improved dramatically. Longji hurried over to cover Tanging with a jacket. At the same time, she handed over the flashing phone in her hand. Han Yufan is calling. Tanging's expression didn't change. Her gaze just darkened a little, but she still picked up the phone. "Hello, Tanging. Have you seen or heard any news?" Han Yufan asked, treading lightly. "Why?" Tanging asked, pretending to be calm. "What happened?" "Oh, it's nothing." Han Yufan was sure Tanging hadn't found out yet since she was in liaison. So he hatched up a plan, tanging, "How about I fly to Liason tomorrow? We can register our marriage there. It's perfect. The scenery is beautiful and the atmosphere is lovely. We can even take advantage of this opportunity to have a holiday dot. It could be our honeymoon." Han Yufan wanted to quickly trap Tanging. Actually, Tanging wasn't born into an ordinary family. She was the daughter of a famous perfume empire. But because of her relationship with Han Yufan, she had a falling out with her family. They were on such bad terms, they practically cut all ties and refused to see each other again. But in the end, she was still a Tang. When the Tang elders passed away, she would still have the right to fight for the inheritance. Han Yufan didn't want to let go of Tanging, not only because Tanging was naive and easy to fool, but one of the most important reasons was the inheritance. Since his and Mo Yuru's video had been released, he could only take advantage of the fact that Tanging hadn't realized yet, to quickly force her to marry him under the suspicious relationship between you and Mo Yuru. "I don't think we should get married yet," Tanging refused straightforwardly. "There's really nothing going on between Yuru and I. The photos you saw were all a misunderstanding. If the photos are a misunderstanding, what about the video?" Tanging questioned in an extremely calm tone. "I am indeed in Liason, but Liason is still in the same country. Did you really think I wouldn't be able to see the news? Or did you think I was really that easy to coax and trick?" Tanging, "I didn't do it on purpose. Trust me, we've been together for so many years. Don't you know what type of person I am?" Han Yufan acted innocent, trying to get pity. It was all her one-sided love. "The person I love is you." Then, what if I was to say, "If she remains in Tianyi Entertainment, then I would leave," or if I was to remain, then she would have to leave? Tanging asked decisively. "Tanging, I always thought you were the one that understood me the most. Why must you pressure me like this?" Han Yufan was a bit upset because he didn't want to give up on either side. Mo Yuru was his first love and was pregnant with his child, whereas Tanging, being put on the spot, Han Yufan couldn't decide what to do. "If you feel like I am pressuring you, you are free to go look for Mo Yuru. She's very understanding." Must it be like this? In actual fact, Han Yufan had already decided to give up on Mo Yuru. After all, Mo Yuru's family background was quite average. The only reason she had got to where she was today was because he had pushed her to that position. If he was to compare her to Tanging, she at best was just the type to play around with. "Give me some time to speak to Yuru. Afterwards we will get married immediately. I'll be waiting." Tanging appeared to respond calmly, but her words contained hidden feelings of contempt. How could someone like Mo Yuru let go of Han Yufan that easily? She even has a child on the way. Longji looked at Tanging's scornful look and immediately grabbed the phone out of her hand. "From now on, we won't take any of his calls as saves us from ruining the mood. Let's return to the hotel. I'm tired." Tanging smiled like nothing happened. Longji nodded and immediately escorted her back to the hotel. Their rooms were next to each other. Longji opened the door for Tanging and comforted her. "Have some rest and don't think too much. You still have an outdoors shot tomorrow." "Aha." Tanging nodded before closing the door. Turning around, she suddenly noticed the sound of water coming from the bathroom. "Who's there?" she asked cautiously. The person inside seemed to have heard her voice as he reached out and turned off the tap. Tanging was worried she had entered the wrong room, so quickly headed for the door. However, at that moment, a tall figure stepped out of the bathroom, grabbed her by the waist, and embraced her in a hug. "It's me." Tanging turned around to see Mo Ting. She was surprised for a moment. "You? How? Didn't I say there would be a miracle?" Mo Ting loosened his grip before planting a kiss on her lips. "Flying during the day is tiring, so I decided to have a shower first to relax." Tanging's mind was in a blur. Never would she have imagined Mo Ting meant what he said. She immediately wrapped her arms around his waist. "My dear wife, should I remind you, I'm not wearing anything?" After hearing this, Tanging instinctively looked down as her face flushed red. "Then you go continue your shower." but I want to go together." With those words, Moteng didn't wait for a response. He directly carried Tanging in his arms straight into the bathroom and placed her under the shower. Grabbing her chin, he planted a passionate kiss on her lips. Don't be so rough. I still need to shoot an advertisement tomorrow." Tanging still had a little bit of awareness. Moteng smirked before moving downwards. "What about here?" Separated by a layer of clothing, Tanging trembled and soon lost her senses. Under the shower, the couple continued to kiss passionately and hug. But as usual, before taking the final step, they were both already satisfied. After showering, one of them peacefully applied skincare, while the others leaned against the bed, reviewing some documents, glancing over at Moteng. Tanging's heart hurt a little. "You're already here, yet you still have to work?" Moteng nodded as he closed up the documents and waved at Tanging. When she finally sat down in his arms, he smiled apologetically. "It's a habit. Am I not attractive enough? Today, Han Yufan called and said he wanted to marry me." Tanging complained sadly. With one quick thrust, Moteng grabbed onto Tanging's waist and pulled her close to his chest as he whispered into her ear with a dangerous tone. "Then, will you marry him? I admit I was once blind, but I am certain I am heading in the right direction now." Tanging murmured, "You are my direction." Moteng flipped over, positioning himself on top of Tanging. He looked at her seriously with his ink-like eyes. "I can barely control myself anymore, but it's not enough. Even though we have already registered, I'm still hoping for you to get to know me properly and to be certain that you want to spend the rest of your life with me. When the time comes that we are both certain we want to be together, that's when we can truly belong to each other. In this industry, my options are endless. I can have whatever I want. The only thing I can't find is a pure heart. Then, let's try hard and work towards the same goal. Let's walk the same path and live the same life." Tanging replied seriously, "I really never thought President Mo, who is sitting high up above everyone else in the entertainment industry, isn't after a fun and carefree lifestyle. I thought you would be a player with a multitude of women. Have you never wanted that?" When a woman asks a question like this, there is no need to answer. All a man needs to do is respond with a passionate kiss. After speaking, Moteng laid down a kiss. And just like he predicted, a passionate kiss indeed makes a lover forget all their worries. That night, embraced by Moteng's hug, Tanging slept extremely sweetly. Compared to Tanging's happiness, Han Yufan's day was definitely not going well. He was in a predicament due to Tanging's request for Mo Yuru to leave Tianyi Entertainment. Mo Yuru not only had his child in her stomach, in her hands she also had evidence of his bad deeds. He couldn't offend either woman. Full of uncertainty, Han Yufan drove back to his home. Upon seeing Mo Yuru sitting sadly on the sofa, his heart sank. "Yufan!" Mo Yuru cried as she flew into his arms, wrapping her arms tightly around his waist. "What should I do? Does this mean I can't be a model anymore? Yuru, how about you go overseas temporarily to take care of your pregnancy? After our baby is born, you can return. When that time comes, I promise, I will do what I have done before. I'll make you famous again." After hearing his words, Mo Yuru froze in realization. "You're asking me to go overseas? Han Yufan, are you planning to sacrifice me? Let me tell you, I'm not as stupid as Tanging to believe your words. I definitely will not go .plus. Han Yufan, don't forget, my stomach still contains your child. I've already been your lover for so many years. Do you really think you can just kick me aside like this? That's not what I meant. Han Yufan, think carefully. Who do you want to spend the rest of your life with? Do you love Tanging? Of course I love you. Only you." Han Yufan responded painfully, but Tanging set out conditions. "If you don't leave Tianyi, she won't marry me. Even if you marry her, you aren't guaranteed everything the Tang family owns." Mo Yuru reasoned, "The Tang family doesn't care about Tanging. Even if she was to return to the household, how much would she be able to inherit? Yufan, Do you really want to put all your eggs in the one basket? To find in the end you've gained nothing. Stay with me. At least you have me and our children. The three of us can build a future together. Isn't that what you want? You fawn. Think about it carefully. Do you want me or do you want hanging? All I need is one word from you, and I can go directly to the hospital to organize an abortion. I'll leave Tianyi and never appear in front of you again. Han Yufan didn't respond as he stood blankly in place. Seeing no response, Mo Yuru immediately picked up her phone to ring her assistant. Help me make an appointment at the hospital. I want to have an abortion. What are you doing? Han Yufan swiped the phone out of her hand. Don't be so impulsive. Did I say I wouldn't be choosing you? Upon hearing his words, Mo Yuru's face lit up. Does that mean you choose me? I love you the most, and yet you want to have an abortion. How could I allow you to do such a thing? All these years, I've been protecting you. Have you not realized? Han Yufan ended up settling on a decision. He decided to end things with Tanging. He just felt it was a pity to give up on the Tang family. But just like Mo Yuru reasoned, there was no guarantee for the future. He couldn't give up on Mo Yuru and his children over an illusion. I knew it. You've always treated me the best. Mo Yuru broke into tears of joy as she gave Han Yufan a big hug. I will definitely give birth to your children and make your sisters and mother happy. As long as you don't stir up any more trouble, I will be very thankful. Don't go online too much and don't listen to the insults online.news like this will pass. Although this scandal will definitely affect the judge's image of you for the Top 10 Model Awards. This award is more focused on a model's professionalism, so we shouldn't give up on our goals. I will listen to you, however. There is one thing you must listen to me. Mo Yuru pulled Han Yufan onto the sofa next to her. Continue to freeze Tanging's jobs. Look at how arrogant she is right now. All because she secured a deal. She thinks she's all that and even tried to go against the company. But Tianyi can live without Tanging. If we want to find a model, it's not hard, Mo Yuru stated. However, we also can't let her go. If she's given the chance, she will definitely seek revenge on us. We will hold on to her and freeze her. After 3 years is up, she will be so old she won't be able to make a comeback. But at present, Tanging has a lot of people cheering for her and her feedback is really good. Doesn't that make things easier? Let's wait till she returns from Liaison. Find her a corporate client, a brand that's low-end and disgusting, so her image declines. Han Yufan looked at Mo Yuru. He knew what she suggested was a bit extreme, but Han Yufan couldn't refuse. He just simply nodded. I'll do as you say. Plus, all companies that want to work with Tanging, we will reply to them saying Tanging doesn't want to work with them. Han Yufan hugged Mo Yuru as he planted a kiss on her forehead. This time his decision came from his heart. He would end things with Tanging. After they ended their relationship, Tanging would simply be a contracted model of Tianyi's with a term of 3 years remaining. Just like Mo Yuru had said, he had to prevent Tanging from becoming famous and finding a chance to revenge against them. So, from now on, he could only continue to step all over her.